Start recording. Okay. Donc, bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone. So I'm broadcasting right now in direct mode on the YouTubes of this world. So you might see that it's currently how should we call that? It's currently backwards. So as I don't really know how to fix that. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so we'll just keep on going. Okay. Let's see if I'm right. Okay. Okay. No, that's good. Okay. So today, what I plan to do it was to translate a song from French to English. But you gotta notice that the song has been written in how will we say joual? So it was written in joual. What's joual? You might want to ask. Joual is kind of way Quebecers sometimes speak. You gotta notice with in this case, it's with a lot of vulgar terms. Just because. Okay, so I'm not gonna broadcast to directly just because of copyright issues. So I hope I won't get a strike. Well, maybe I know it's controlled by bots, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be hit with a strike. That's why maybe I'm doing it live. For all my fans out there, I know that you guys are very numerous. We got a lot of people, French, English, usually because the other languages I don't master them as much as I would like to. It's Spanish, German, and so on and so forth. But sure, in the language field, case just because I think I found myself a big interest in that lately. Well, it's always been that way. Okay, so we're gonna take a few minutes to listen to that. So once again, it's called Jonquière, and it's a French song once again, written by Monsieur, which could be translated as someone that goes through something. If I'm anyhow, I'll Okay. Uh, um, so I hope you did enjoy it. When I was younger, and even today, but because of the pandemics, of course, we didn't. I was in a very prudent family, so we didn't really get together really for real parties, if you know what I mean. But in family parties, there used to be the kind of songs that um, one would hear and one would listen to. Um, so um, so yeah, that was it for now. Um, Depending on your level of French understanding of the French language, of course, in this case, if you are from, let's say, uh, if you are a French person, let's say from France or a bit Europe, basically, you're gonna see you know, a different way of speaking French, of course, as you might be aware, in Canada, in Quebec, especially, but in different parts of Canada, also, I've discussed about the joual way of describing how we talk over here. Um, it's the same thing I would say for um, let's say people in New Brunswick with how do they call it? They called it chiac. I believe it's if you want to Google it, I think it's just CHIAC. No, chiac. Um, so um, probably you can read them backwards. So at first, I'm gonna translate that in my own terms, as if I didn't add any tools, and then we might go afterwards to Google Translate if we do have time for that. So get the lyrics on the right hand side of your screen, I believe, or if it's currently backwards in YouTube, you might get them on your left hand side, like written reversely. But I'm gonna put them in the description, so don't worry too much about it. And also, um, for those you might want to use, you might want to Google it and um, find find it by yourself. Okay, so at first they say a sous common butt, which is a person very drunk, so maybe piss drunk, some would say, in a vulgar way. But yeah, so sous common butt is like it's a boot, basically. Assis au bac, pas loin de la porte. Donc, in this case here, I believe that the bac is the name of a bar. Um, so that's what I figured. Um, so we won't go that far in this case. So, pas loin de la porte in this case is very close to the door. Je regarde ainsi les Black Label. Of course, you might be aware that Black Label is a brand of beer. It's a brand name of a beer. Very popular in the United States. Usually, it's a cheap beer. Wasn't that much a fan of. I'm a fan of beer usually, but not Black Labels. Unfortunately, for those who really enjoy that. So he looks at those beer bottles like as if they were dancing, basically. So je regarde danser is I'm looking at the je regarde danser les Black Label. I'm looking at Black Labels bottles. I'm looking at them dancing. Sur une vieille tune d'Eddie Mitchell. So on a song of Mr. Eddie Mitchell, which I don't whom I'm not aware of. Maybe would be nice for me to try to know a little more. Is running, we would say over here. Donc, revenons à nos moutons. Curieux, j'y pensais justement même pas. That was so curious, weird. That's weird. I wasn't really thinking about it. So we will translate it in a passive mode just because, we can relate to the action at some point in time. In this case of Mr. Latraverse. Mou comme une grotte. So soft as shit. Soft as, a piece of shit. And nothing like that. Of course, I wouldn't have presented that to you. But I do believe that you are coming in good faith over here. Um, so as couplet, I'm not that sure. I'm just gonna write it down so that next time around, when I'll come back with this um, special type of translation, um, you know, um, this beautiful French language that we all love. Anyhow, so the only difference would be plus. But it's just the way sometimes we do speak, even in French, sometimes it's just like in English. We tend to make the word shorter just because it takes less, uh, less time to say it and less space, if you want. Um, so I was not thinking about it anymore. So that would be how I would translate. And we'll see later on if I was on target or if I was way off. So we'll get to that point if you keep on going, and it's going to be interesting. So just bear with me. Chance étudiant plein pep, ep. So pep. Going from of course the 7 and 8 grade were apart, but from 12 to from 9 to 12, to me there's a lot with me, and that's fine. We could have that debate later on. But it's just because I was teaching to those guys, and at some point I was thinking, well, then like 13, 14 years old when they are almost adults. So I should treat them like adults. And of course, with the responsibility that comes with that, you're almost an adult, so I'll treat you as an adult. Some at 18 years old, you're an adult in Quebec, 19 in Ontario. And then some of those people, just like I was treating 13 and 14 years old, didn't really make sense in my head. But that's fine. That was the way things are. Okay. So to play, aller jouer de la belle musique, zizik, well, zizik's just kind of a word play, word pawn, if you like. Just playing words, just for the sound of it. Um, so to go play some those nice songs, nice music, and so on and so forth. Not to pas pour faire mon grand alcoolique, so not to be this alcoholic person that the typical um, like I'd said, to me the best example that comes to mind in this case is in actually paid to hear the songs. Some people feel ripped apart. They feel ripped or screwed because of that. They feel that their money is being stolen, and of course there's an equilibrium there to be maintained. So that's the idea mainly of the song. This guy, maybe you drank too much too fast, and then he's saying, "Well, I'm gonna have to go play in half an hour, and so I've got half an hour to to undrunk, said in the past. Okay, so now we're getting to some dirty words once again. So if you might want to bleep that out, or hang at this point. I don't mind at this point. So there's here, une plot qui se frotte sur un cadre de porte, qui flotte à droite, qui flotte à gauche. Je me pile sur le stage avec mon roach. The thing is, roach, here, of course, it's a word in English. Hey, I'll just bear with me. It was French. That's what I wanted. Of course, it's a Quebec expression. Maybe if you say that in Paris, France, that won't really make sense. But you know, yeah. Yeah, so I won't get too up into the details here. But once again, it gets a little dirtier, as if actually the most politically correct song, if that makes sense. So une plate qui se frotte sur un cadre de porte, once again, it's joual, so there's lots of expressions here that are really not fitting that as well. I don't know if that rings a bell too. Well, if you're a Quebecer, it should ring a bell through all cultures. If you actually a nice crowd tonight of Upper Quebec. So it's been like 14 minutes since, and actually, as for the translations, since I hope you had a good time. Maybe a weekly habit. Habit. I was going to say habitude, but in French, I would say que cela devienne une habitude hebdomadaire, which stands for weekly. That's weird because week is semaine, but weekly is hebdomadaire. That's the way things are, maybe there's different roots for this particular word here for week, semaine. So week, semaine, semaine in French. Okay, and of course, week in English we also got week, which means something. For songs that you'd like translated from French to English, I would welcome those requests, and I'm going to help you out with that. And of course, the reverse also would be true, going from French to English. So hoping to see you around, and merci d'avoir été ici. Hasta la vista, baby. Dankeschön. Donc, on se reverra bientôt. Bye bye. Donc, j'essaie d'atteindre ça, là. OK. OK, arrête ça.